Hey you guys, it's me Thomas, SpongeBob #1 fan 2003 here, and as you can see I'm here with this super duper cool SpongeBob book that's called Best Bikini Bottom Stories Ever. And we've actually had this book for about 11 years. My brother got it at a book fair when he was just in 2nd grade and I was in preschool, and our dad would always read us this book before we would go to bed and stuff, and we absolutely loved it. And yeah, this book is like really super awesome. We really love this one. So as you can see, there's Gary like sort of crawling on the bottom part right here, like he's crawling right there on the bee. And there are 3 jellyfish right here, and there's Plankton holding a 4 books inside sign. And there's SpongeBob giving us a big thumbs up. And here is the spine. And here's the back side. So as you can see, there's of course Plankton right there, and there are about 4 books right here, and yeah, those are actually the books that are sort of contained in here. And yep, and of course all of the stories in here are level 2 stories. So yep, let's get started looking at the pages that are in here. So right here is like a thing for parents and teachers to read, and there's a big picture of SpongeBob's face right here. And there's his eye right there. And then there's SpongeBob right there sitting down with Best Bikini Bottom Stories Ever written in these pretty rainbow sort of colors. And then there's SpongeBob's hand right here and a bunch of like blah 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 stuff right there. And this book belongs to right there as well. And there's SpongeBob's leg and the table of contents. And there are SpongeBob's holes right here, and here's the big win, which is the first story that's in here, okay? So everyone is actually going to participate in the Bikini Bottom relay race, so SpongeBob and all his friends go to practice, right here. And if they win first place, they're actually going to win some gold. So SpongeBob is actually like going to jump across this big huge boat right here with that pole, and Patrick's gonna like jump over a little pile of sand. Sandy and Mr. Krabs are both gonna like throw things. Sandy is gonna throw a pole, and Mr. Krabs is gonna throw sort of a disc, or like a sea dollar or sand dollar. And Gary's actually going to hurdle across some coral. And Squidward is going to throw a kelp log, and the team is actually taking a break, drinking some water, and Squidward says that they're not practicing that good enough, so he wants them to try a lot harder. So he tells SpongeBob to jump higher. He tells Patrick to spread his legs and arms more. And he tells Sandy and Mr. Krabs to throw harder and Gary to move faster. And apparently Squidward doesn't think they're doing good enough still, so he decides to do everything by himself. And Sandy and SpongeBob tell everyone that, like, he's not really treating them that fair. Yeah, SpongeBob says, like, what's the point of being in the relay race if they don't get to have any fun? So Squidward actually practices all of their like activities by himself, and he gets so tired that he can't do his own activities, so everyone tells him that they'll all try his best, like oh my gosh, everyone tells Squidward that they'll all try their best. There we go. So the big day is here, and there are like a bunch of that one fish, and there's a bunch of Larrys right there, and a bunch of Planktons right here too. And there's Squidward with his team. So SpongeBob and Patrick, Sandy and Mr. Krabs all do their very best with their activities. And Gary does his best with his activity, and Squidward does his best with his activity too. And Squidward's team actually wins 2nd place, and apparently Plankton's team won 1st. But at least they all tried their best. And yep, so they won 2nd place in that one. And then My Trip to Atlantis by SpongeBob SquarePants. This is actually based on the episode called Atlantis SquarePants. So SpongeBob actually blows a big, huge bubble, and him and Patrick get trapped inside of it, and they see this thing about, like, Atlantis, like this, like, half of this big, huge coin, so they decide to take it to the museum, and Squidward actually says that that's actually the missing half of the Atlantis amulet. So Squidward tells everyone a little bit about Atlantis, and there's the oldest living bubble right there, and SpongeBob and Patrick really want to see it. So Squidward actually puts the amulet together, and suddenly a bus comes, and the bus takes them to Atlantis. And there they meet King Lord Royal Highness. So SpongeBob and all his friends get a tour of the city, and Mr. Krabs is like obsessed with the gold room, or the treasure room, and Sandy is obsessed with the science room, and of course Squidward is obsessed with the Hall of Arts, and SpongeBob and Patrick want to see the oldest living bubble. SpongeBob looks so adorable right there. I love him so much. I love SpongeBob. He's so cute. Looks so cute right there. Okay. So the king takes them to see the world's oldest bubble, and they're really, really super fascinated with it. And they decide to take a selfie together with the bubble. And apparently when Patrick takes the selfie, the bubble pops, and SpongeBob and Patrick are worried that they're in trouble. And then they have dinner with the king and all their friends. And the king tells them that that wasn't the real bubble, and then he shows them the real bubble. And then when Patrick takes the picture of the real bubble, that bubble pops, and everyone is in trouble. And then there's Plankton, and he actually has a big, huge tank that'll actually, like, to sort of destroy them all or something. And the machine actually, blasts ice cream. It looks like it's strawberry, but in the episode it was actually cone flavored or something. And now SpongeBob and Patrick are like gobbling up the ice cream and stuff, and Plankton is like really, really mad. And then the king and everyone else, like, they're all still angry with them, but then the king sees Plankton and he says that it's a talking speck, and it'll actually, and I guess Plankton will actually replace the bubble. So SpongeBob and Patrick and Squidward, Mr. Krabs, and Sandy go back to Bikini Bottom. And unfortunately, Plankton isn't really having a good time because he's trapped in that thing. And even though it says no flash photography, or no flash photos, everyone is still taking photos. And then My Name is Cheesehead, which you've pretty much already seen this one right here, but it's okay. It's okay. I'll still probably rush through a little bit of it. So yeah, SpongeBob wakes up and he finds himself in a strange place, and he doesn't know who he is. So he meets two people who try to help him out, and apparently everyone is like scared of bubbles. You can see that they like run away as soon as SpongeBob takes out the wand and container. So he walks around New Kelp City and he accidentally bumps into this super mean guy. And SpongeBob doesn't have any money or anything, so he goes to get a job. And he tries to get a job at a bank. And he didn't fill out a form since he doesn't know who he is. And the lady says, like, what's his special skill? And SpongeBob says that he can actually blow a bubble. And the lady tells him to leave. And SpongeBob gets a job at a construction site. And he blows a big, huge bubble to move the hammer faster. And apparently his new boss is also mad at him as well. So he gets fired. And SpongeBob is very, very sad and lonely. And he doesn't understand why everyone is, like, acting so strangely. So, he sees, some fire. Like, it's cold, so he stands by a fire. And he blows bubbles to help cheer himself up. And then he runs into the bubble popping boys there. And they are not nice. So he, like, runs away from them, and he actually blows some bubbles like stairs. and they try to chase him, and then SpongeBob blows bubbles shaped like a raft and an oar right there. And apparently the gang is ready, so they like shoot some like rocks at the raft and oar. So SpongeBob or Cheesehead blows a big bubble, and it traps the bubble popping boys inside of it, and they float away, and they never get to be seen again. And everyone is so happy with SpongeBob that they make him mayor of New Kelp City. And SpongeBob is announcing that it'll always be safe to blow bubbles in the streets. And then he sees his old friends, except he doesn't recognize them since SpongeBob has amnesia. And Sandy and Patrick and Squidward tell him to come back to Bikini Bottom. And SpongeBob says that he has an important job as mayor, and he has a meeting. So Squidward and Sandy and Patrick actually take him in a limousine to take him to the meeting, when they really take him to Bikini Bottom. And he doesn't remember anything, of course, since he has amnesia. And Mr. Krabs says to tell him to get back to work kindly. And SpongeBob obviously doesn't remember being a fry cook. So he goes back to New Kelp City, but as soon as he gets out, he gets hit in the head by Squidward's fancy egg, and then he gets his memory back. But SpongeBob still remembers working at New Kelp City, so he decides to go back. But then they see on the news that New Kelp City is in trouble, and they really want Mayor Cheesehead Brown Pants sort of dead, so SpongeBob decides to no longer be mayor, and he decides to stick as fry cook. And then, stay as a fry cook. And then Man Sponge Saves the Day is the last story. So SpongeBob watches Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy's Murmur while they're away on vacation. Okay. And, so Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy leave. And Plankton has an evil plan, so he calls all of his evil friends. And they come by to destroy Bikini Bottom. And SpongeBob wants to go for a ride. He wants to go for a bike ride, so he tries to look for the invisible bicycle. And he finally finds it, and he sees that Bikini Bottom is in danger. So, everyone is, doing super mean things. He even took balloons away from a kid. That is not nice. So, SpongeBob wants to help people, so he dresses up as Mermaid Man, and he calls himself Man Sponge. So he saves the day by trying to find his invisible bicycle, but apparently he can't find it. So he actually sees this super mean guy, stealing money. And the mean man, trips over, the invisible bicycle, and the bag of money falls into SpongeBob's hands. And then SpongeBob sees Patrick and the Ice Cream Man all tied up, and two other mean guys are, wrecking the ice cream. So SpongeBob ties up the two mean guys and unties Patrick and the Ice Cream Man. And then he sees a bunch of people, stealing library stuff while popping bubble wrap. That's nothing bad. And that guy's, painting on that, which is not good. So SpongeBob stops them by making them trip over bubble solution and falling into his big net. And Plankton stole the Krabby Patty secret formula, and SpongeBob springs into action by trapping Plankton in a glass cup, and there's his underpants right there too, SpongeBob's underwear. And then SpongeBob puts the mean bad guys in jail. And Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy return from their vacation, and SpongeBob says that everything was under control. Which, yeah. And that's actually pretty much all for the best Bikini Bottom stories ever. I really super love this book. It's really, really enjoyable. I really, really, enjoy the stories that are in here. Yeah, I cannot believe that I forgot about this book for so many years, and we finally found it again. Okay. But yep, I hope you guys enjoy my review of best Bikini Bottom stories ever, and let me know what story in here was your favorite. I actually really liked all the stories. They were honestly so entertaining to read. And Yep, so as I said, I hope you guys enjoyed this book. So goodbye everybody and have a great day and peace out.